What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the video. I want to quickly start by saying don't do anything crazy when these new events drop. I really want you guys to keep in mind of everything that is coming into the game, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's dive right into it. And welcome back, guys. I hope I didn't scare you too much. Nothing crazy is happening, but we do have a brand new boss coming to the game. We talked about it previously in our Immortal Codex check-in, and today we're going to be talking about it a little bit more, specifically with some of the events that are coming to the game as well in a very short time period. So if you come over to the event tab, you will see we have the Immortal Codex, and in the Immortal Codex, we have this brand new Boreas boss, the Arbiter of Frost, coming in 20 hours and 19 minutes from this video recording. By the time you see this, he'll probably be live or very close to being live. So definitely, go look at him. He looks really fun. He's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. But we also have, in 20 hours and 19 minutes, a Spiritual Altar. We also have, in 20 hours and 19 minutes, a Corridor of Glory. And this is really, really important because it's sitting into a very interesting time frame where we have a brand new boss with brand new mechanics, and we already have an idea of what that looks like. So we're going to quickly go and find the new boss kit, and we will see all of the champions that make sense to build for this new boss, okay? And I want you guys to focus on looking for these champions while you're summoning, right? If you're summoning this weekend on the Hotsoot and why am I blanking on his name? Artemis banner. You want to look out and see, maybe you don't pull Hotsoot, maybe you don't pull Artemis, but you pull someone like a Zillitu or, a Hex or an Arrogance or an Anai, right? You pull one of those other champions that could be really good for the Arbiter of Frost. Keep an eye out for him. Also, keep an eye out for Cukes. Cuke is going to be very, very good in this game mode because he stacks poison like it's nobody's business. Same with Screef. So you want to keep a lookout for these champions. If you don't currently have them and you happen to get them, particularly here I'm talking about the legendaries, right? Because of course you probably have an Assault at A5 if you've been playing the game for any period of time. And getting a Cuke or a Screef is really not super difficult. You can buy a Cuke with diamonds in the shop if you really, really need to. But ideally, we're talking about a couple epics that you maybe don't have, like for example Vladov if you don't have him, if you missed his event, or the legendaries that are in this pool, because you'll want to build these champions for this event. However, unless you are a big whale, a pay-to-win player, or some kind of thing where you're okay with just building whoever you want, be careful. Wait until people have started to figure out the boss, right? Because, for example, it says here that Anai is really good, but most people think Anai's not the greatest damage dealer in the game. But she could be really, really good in Arbiter of Frost, and maybe she's going to be the answer, and you happen to have her, but don't build her right away. Wait to find out and make sure that Anai is actually one of those top-tier champions. Same with any of these other champions, like Oram, right? For example, I built my Oram where is he? I built my Oram to use him in the tanking codex, and he's just sat here. I haven't used him because I thought he was going to be very beneficial, and he wasn't. Maybe he will be now, right? Because now, we have someone who can, deal a decent chunk of burning, and, can trigger counterattack if they're burning, which they're going to be burning. And if they're triggering counterattack, they're going to put more burning, right? So there is, a good chance that Oram may actually be a champion that you want to use here. But I want you guys to wait until that event starts, until you can see the boss. And the reason is because we need to build 10,000 points through the summon, or through the leveling and upgrading champions event, in order to get all of those legendary skill stones. And so because of that, you're going to want to level up and gear as many of these champions as you can during that time frame. But I want to make sure you're doing it on the right champions. So if you are in the place where I am, where you have a ton of 6 stars and you're really just building 6 stars to use as alternatives, or for faction trials, or for trying out new things in guild boss / whatever, right? You're just building kind of randomly. and you're like me and maybe you have like a ton of 5-star food that's just lying around, right? I have, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, that's 21, 22, 25, 28, 31. I have 45-star food, so I have no problem making any food, making any 6 stars. So for example, I could come in here and I could 6-star my Anai right now. But of course I would wait till the event starts, and it wouldn't really hurt me if she ends up not being very good. But if you're at a little bit of an earlier game, stage, or maybe like a mid-game state, and you don't have all of this food built up, you may want to be patient about building the champions right away. Unless it's a champion that's really, really good in other areas. Like, for example, we do have some champions here that are really good all over the place, like Praetus, for example, Alistair, Solkadens, Lust. All of these champions are very good. Zillatu, Arrogance, Hex, Vierna, Salazar, and Twin Fiend, all very good in many places. Even Morrigan is good. She's not the greatest champion by herself, but she's not bad, and she is a legendary lord, so it could make sense for you to build her, right? It could make sense to build most of these champions right off the rip, but those couple champions that you think, oh, maybe this works, wait and see, because you may end up finding out that, you've got this perfect Twin Fiend, Zillatu, Hex, Solkadens squad, right? But maybe you find out that Anai does do more damage than Hex. I seriously doubt it, but maybe you do. You never know. It's possible, right? So it's just something to keep in mind before you go in and just unload all of your stuff right off of the rip. Go look at the boss, see what people are doing, see what works, and then make your decision of whether or not you're going to 6-star that Anai or that Nisalt, right? Because there's potential. Right? I mean, if we go look at Nisalt, sorry about that. Where is Nisalt? I've got him in here somewhere. Here we go. I have an A5 Nisalt, right? He could be really good, right? His basic applies poison and burning and toxic fire, right? So, I mean, that could be really good. We may end up, getting a ton of really good stuff from this. If we go and we look at his A1 that increases the duration, his A3 inflicts 30% extra damage on targets with 50% HP or higher. And then we have increased attack speed during ultimate. He may actually end up being really, really good, just being built ridiculously high attack speed, because he gets a ton of, effects adding in both burning and poisons. So there is a lot of interesting things. I don't know. Maybe he's really good. Maybe he's not. I haven't built him, but I'm not going to build him up ahead of time. I want to make sure he actually fits in the narrative of this battle. So it's just a sort of quick, hey, double check before you build. I don't want you guys to go in and just start building random things right off of the gate to see if it works, because you want to let those whales, those big players who have everything built, let them test first before you go in and test yourself. But guys, that's it for me today. It was a pretty quick one. I think we're under 10 minutes. We are at 8.5. Look at me go. But yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment down below with how excited are you for this Boreas boss. I am really, really hyped for it. I think we're going to see a lot of champions make some crazy, crazy gains. For example, I think Anai is actually going to potentially be really, really good here when paired with her other Infernal brothers and sisters. We'll see how that goes. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see all my content going forward in the future. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.